Keller Kassam, Dominion Energy. This hurricane was different than most. Most of them go up the Atlantic. They put all the energy out into the Atlantic, and all the rain comes in from the coast. This one unbelievably went up. It was supposed to go through Atlanta, the eye. It came closer to Augusta. It threw all of its energy to the east, and that's why we have the number of outages that we have, mainly from shear force winds, taking down trees, and causing structural damage. I have to say to my fellow South Carolinians, do not go near a down power line. In addition to that, if you're not experienced with a chainsaw, don't use it. If you go to cut trees that are caught up in telecommunications or power lines, they're under tension. And when you take that weight off and cutting that tree, it will spring back, and it has the potential to kill you. So please stay away from that. If you have a down power line, make sure you call us and we will handle it. 386,000 customers out on the Dominion Energy system. It is the same number and approaches the number we had out with Hurricane Hugo, that famous hurricane. Now we have more customers now, and the damage is not as intense. We've got 4 helicopters that are up in the air. 2 of them have the long saws on them, so we'll work transmission first because there's no need to, we'll focus on distribution, but we work transmission first. We have to get it energized. Then we can bring power to the substations in your neighborhood and then get your distribution going from there. You will be frustrated as this goes. Tomorrow it's going to be 86 degrees and clear. And you're going to say, why can't I watch the football game? Why can't I go out and my life get back to normal? And life's not going to be back to normal until probably the middle of next week from a power standpoint, just because of the sheer damage that we have. We have 465 off-system crews combined with 2,000 native crews that are out there working, and we are bringing more crews on now as we speak. We're getting them from Alabama, we're getting them from Mississippi, and I assure you we will not stop working until the very last South Carolinian has their power restored. And Governor brought it up. Calls from the governor's office. The first call I got this morning was from Secretary Powell with DOT, Robert Woods with the Highway Patrol, the National Guard. This is Team South Carolina coming together in order to work together. And I would encourage all South Carolinians to do the same. Have a positive attitude, work in your neighborhood just as we are working with each other, and we'll all come out this for the better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kassam. Mike Callahan, Duke Energy.
Mike Callahan, South Carolina President for Duke Energy, and I'll just start by emphasizing the comments that Keller made about Team South Carolina. Appreciate the opportunity, Governor, to join you. Appreciate the work that we do together in partnership around storms like this. We have a lot of experience, and I've spoken to a number of your agencies today as well. And Duke has been monitoring this storm and preparing for this storm for several days now. We have about 11,000 skilled workers on the system, ready to work. We have damage assessors, tree crews, and line technicians from 18 different states and as far away as Canada prepared to respond to these outages. And these teams are designed to allow us to move them around the state as we get through outages to where the hardest hit areas are. I will say that this storm has caused significant and perhaps historic damage to the Duke Energy system. In counties like Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson, we had nearly 100% of our customers that experienced an outage. And based on our initial damage assessments, we know that we will have customers out for several days, similar to what Keller mentioned for the Dominion Energy system. As of noon today, we had about 633,000 customers still without power, but we have already begun those restorations and have gotten ahead of 77,000 customers already restored as the system has moved out and as it allows us to do so safely. I will close by saying we know how disruptive a storm like this is to our customers. We understand that electricity is essential to your daily lives, and we are fully prepared to respond as quickly and as safely as we can, and we will not stop until every customer has been restored. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Callahan. CEO Jimmy State, Santee Cooper.
Excuse me. Thank you, Governor. And first, I'd like to start by thanking all of the utility crews, not just Santee Cooper's team, who of course I'm proud of, but all of the utility crews that are out responding right now. It's important during these types of emergencies that they work safely and they have to date, and so we look forward to that. We started preparing for this storm earlier this week, began bringing in additional crews from out of state to help us, and we deployed those folks throughout the system. We started seeing the first level of damages yesterday afternoon. We were able to deploy our crews, and they worked overnight safely and continued to restore service. But just to give you an idea of where we are from a generating perspective, all of our generating units are working the way that we expected to. I will tell you the team in Anderson County had to cut their way into the Rainy Station, but they successfully made it. On the transmission front, you all know that Santee Cooper has a very extensive electric transmission system throughout the state. It's what enables us to serve municipalities and mostly the cooperatives in the state. That has been the most impacted by this storm. So we have had 48 transmission lines impacted, and that is about 116 delivery points to municipals and cooperatives across the state. As of noon today, we've restored service to half of those points, so we're down to about 58 points that are left. Our priority, first and foremost, is to operate safely, but secondly, it's to stabilize the transmission grid by working first on the highest voltage lines and then move down the line, very similar to what Keller was talking about. We are continuing to assess the damage on the system, but we know that we have 11 broken structures. We have 4 helicopters in the air. 2 of those are equipped with the long saws that Keller talked about so that we can immediately get the trees off the line and begin restoring service as quickly as possible. Now, Mike Callahan mentioned this is a different hurricane than what we've experienced. Normally, Santee Cooper's territory in Horry, Georgetown, and Berkeley County is directly affected because it comes off of the Atlantic. That was not the case this time. So our distribution business was not significantly impacted. Total of 6,200 customers, all but 80 of those have been restored. So again, like everyone else that's been up here, please be careful out there, stay away from power lines, and if you see a down power line, please give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy Stevens. President and CEO Rob Hochstetler and Central Electric Power Co-op.
Thank you, Governor. Rob Hochstetler, representing the 19 electric cooperatives of South Carolina. The electric co-ops were hit extremely hard by this morning's storm. The restoration process really is going to take place across a large swath of South Carolina. It's going to take days, perhaps well into next week. It is not hours. Hurricanes like Hurricane Helene knocked out power to 425,000 electric cooperative consumers. That's just less than half. As of about an hour ago, last time I checked, about 380,000 of those consumers are still without power. This storm snapped several hundred poles, yanked down lines, and damaged not just distribution systems, but as Jimmy and Keller said, the transmission lines and other critical infrastructure. The transmission lines are what I like to think of as the interstate system delivering power. As a result, dozens of substations, delivery points that Jimmy calls them, those are like the exits off of the interstate, are without power and out of commission. And so we've got to get the interstate, the transmission system running, and then the delivery points back up. For some of our co-ops, particularly those in the upstate and along South Carolina's western border, our folks are on the ground are saying this is the most destructive storm they've ever seen. Some of those people have worked for 40 years in the business. They've been through the 2014 ice storm, through Hurricane Hugo in '89, and they're saying again, this is the worst they've ever seen. A handful of our co-ops saw almost their entire system drop off. 98% of their consumers were without power early this morning. We're in the early process of assessing the damage, but it's substantial. It's bad. We are still early in the process, but we have co-op crews working across the state to restore power. We've called in help from places across the country, mostly in the southeast. We expect to be working around the clock this weekend and well into next week to restore power. Keep in mind, our co-ops serve some of the most rural areas and rugged parts of the state. In order to safely restore power, our crews have to inspect every mile of line, and that takes time, so please be patient. Our materials and equipment suppliers, just like our crews, are having to cut their way in and cut their way out to get equipment to the places it needs to be. It takes time to do this safely. Just this morning, we had trees fall on 2 trucks that were out trying to restore power. Luckily, the people were safe, But that tells you just how safe we need to be. The workers were okay in both cases. We're still early in the restoration process. We're going to work until the power is back on, and we need your help. Please be patient. Please be understanding with the folks that are out working. They're doing everything. We are doing everything we can. And finally, I'll end with this. I want to thank everyone behind me, particularly Office of ORS, Keller, Jimmy, Mike. It takes all of us working together. So thank you, everyone.